Hey.
Oh. I believe this is number 3.
Trick by Track, episode 3. What's the song, Eric?
I think it's Friend.
Sure. It's Friend.
It's Friend.
Let me move my leg so we can see Pippin. Pippin is my friend. So she's making a feature.
Which is, as you can probably tell, or hopefully tell, we got a new camera. Because we'll be filming all kinds of fun videos.
Yeah.
And we also have, if you're friends of the channel.
Friends of the channel.
Yeah, you know about Live from the Vase, which we hope to do again with a much better camera. And a much better, saying it like Jenna Maroney. Camera, can't help it.
Yeah.
Permanently infected. So.
Yeah.
Album 1.
Album 1, Beverly. Track 3, Friend.
3, Friend.
Now, I remember this. So, Friend is a deceptively simple song.
Yeah, sure.
It's like one sort of tight chord progression.
Sure.
And then the chorus is just half of that same
progression.
And then the middle part is just a slowed down version of the same chord progression, right?
Yeah. So,
but I was very taken with it, as we mentioned previously.
Right.
On my
Thick of It.
The Thick of It Trick by Track.
1.
I was like, oh, what a beautiful chord progression. I need to write a beautiful song.
Which is very flattering, because I was trying to make it like a sexy samba type of thing. It is pretty, but I wasn't pushing that necessarily.
Yeah. And these things always get translated through my fingers.
Yeah, and then just translated through time, and translation is important.
Yeah, and we have that live version that went in an even different direction.
Crazy direction. Yeah, can't wait to play that more live. But yeah, that was that came from a desire to do, because I was listening to a ton of SZA. We had just met.
The Control
album, and because I was teaching music to a lot of the
youths of today,
the 7th and 8th grade girls who were like, oh, we love all these songs. I remember even the boys. I remember Brandon and Ainer wanted to learn Khalid. Location and stuff like that, so I was learning all these R&B songs,
and I was like, DJ Khaled, and they're like, no,
yeah,
someone
Khalid. So I was getting an influx of music that I wouldn't necessarily have listened to before, and so I said to myself, let me try to make because we were going back and forth with the chords. We had probably written a few songs at that point, and I was kind of like, with a lot of different chord sections and stuff, and I was kind of like, oh, let's have one song on here that's more laid back,
more
one chord. Shout out to Annie Lou and Princess and Ashley and Camilla.
Yeah, that was a good time, and we were experimenting with them different modes our songwriting.
We were not only trying to impress and one up each other, but we were also just going let's do this direction, because we were building a record for the first time, and that's kind of what made it easy to have a concept, that loose concept of different characters on the same day, is because it made it so we could experiment with song routes, because we've become
I wrote songs for that album that I would never have written.
Right, yeah.
And I haven't written anything like that since.
Yeah, that album is going to be such an anomaly in our catalog.
Yeah, maybe unless, you never know, album 9, they're like, there are 3 Beverlys at this point. They gotta do something new.
Yeah, maybe they'll see the inheritor of the legacy, but Chordcoutrements just went off on a rail. But so anyway, because this is the album, and it was inspired by these young students, and I think from my experience with playwriting and stuff, that every great story needs the young lovers. You need the old guy warning you, and the 40-year-old who's going through bankruptcy, and you need the young lovers who everything is hopeful for.
Yeah.
Which I think you kind of mirrored later with Tennis Court, actually kind of flipped that on its head. But,
that's right, yeah.
But so the song takes so many routes, because initially it was just a pure love song.
And I wrote the little chorus. It's not very
Right, but it's it's simple. It's like when I did on Chordcoutrements the Our Little Home.
Yeah,
and it's like your sister or someone was like, oh, that's like a nice little
part.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, that little difference like, there.
Yeah, it just goes to show.
The depth of songwriting. Two different people coming together.
But yeah, you were like, oh, doesn't this need another section? Doesn't this need another section? And I was kind of just playing with this intro on piano, which was just the 2 chords, but played differently. And then I was like, let's just use that. And you wrote, because I wrote a pure gushing love song, just a pure, which is something I've always tried to experiment with, because I like Marvin Gaye and Phil Collins and those.
Yeah, and I spoiler alert, album 3. Have done sort of that.
Yeah, we keep. I never
come back in 40 episodes.
Yeah, never always is such a completion of all of our songwriting theory. It's a real end to a trilogy, if you will. But yeah, so I was being very gushing. I was going through New Love at the time, and you flipped it and had that "gotta go home now" and made it depressing. And so it has this duality that we have since. It really is the genesis of our duality that we have played with, that and like Endgame and stuff, where we go back and forth and we have this dark light theme and just the very easy. You know, it's not rocket science, but you know, it does more.
Yeah, because you're. I think maybe at the time I was like, well, we can't just have. It wasn't. I don't even think it was that intentional. No, but it wasn't. It wasn't like, oh, I need to.
Yeah, but it was
not make this a love.
It was checking the route.
It was just like, my natural. Tendency. I was just like, oh, now I'll flip it on its head and be sad, and that's just my comfort zone.
It's great because I've always thought of it so many different ways, where it's like either like the character in the story broke up, and it's like jumping around in time, or. That's the other boyfriend who, you know, because there's always another relationship that's broken.
That's a good point. It doesn't have to be the same character.
No, it's
and in fact, it's a different voice. Maybe that's the implication. Maybe it's who got left in the dust.
Yeah, that's a good one. My dream is to redo all our albums as musicals. So once we have all the characters
Beverly
singing
the
right songs,
Robot Big Crane,
it'll be like a cabaret.
Scene.
Different people have come out, which I still.
Chordcoutrements might be difficult to musicalify.
Yeah, but we can condense it. We can just like.
There's the getaway car.
Yeah, that's beat 1. Getaway car. Yeah. But I'm sorry, because this is mostly my little contribution. So do you? Because the recording this was when I first was learning. We were learning.
Yeah, we can talk about the recording a little bit.
I might have tried to play more, but ultimately decided not to. Like, but
I think there are a few. There are a couple tracks. You
arranged one of my songs, and one of the first times I really went like, "You're a great soloist. This song should have sections for your soloing, sections of rapturous."
Yeah, and it was because we had done the first song we wrote together. Spoiler: it was "Lucky Cycle."
Right.
Future episode, not too future, but future episode, and
sorry.
But we were talking about Lucky Cycle and arranging things, and Lucky Cycle is actually the first time you were like, and now is the solo,
right?
And I was like, and I had never, even though I'm ostensibly a guitarist primarily, I had never, I don't think on any of my songs,
more of an arranger,
really done a solo.
Yeah, you think of them as lines. You don't think of them as like. And now I'm at the front of the stage.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, it's not like jazz.
It's part of the. Yeah, exactly. But you rip I can't wait to release our hard rock album.
Yeah, I don't know.
I emailed a guitar. It was called Guitar One Records, and I was like, I'm writing on behalf of my friend, my songwriting partner. This was my hook for them, where I was like, he fucking rips. Like he should be on. You know.
I didn't know that. That's so sweet.
But sorry, I keep.
But so that was the first time you were like, you just do a solo here, and I was like, a solo? What? And so I just tried to come up with a solo, and in Friend, that was sort of a continuation of that. You were like, that solo, we need even more solos, 2 solos.
Here we go.
And I was like, 2 solos?
Yeah.
Okay! And so one of them, I think, the first solo I think of is my spoon solo, which is sort of like a jagged, distorted kind of, it's kind of, it's like a lot of those solos too is like, it's like 2 solos over each other and they're interplayed. That's kind of the thing.
Strokes as.
Yeah.
Or
and then the second solo is just like a melodic line, kind of thinking about, coming at it from 2 different angles. None of them are like super technical, but the first one is a little bit more, what's going on here. And and I had a lot of fun with the recording of just everything in that song. The first part has the cool sort of percussion, it's like little
it's a
scratching of strings song. And things like that, and those sort of smooth brushing. I think that's
definitely top 3 ones that came out best production wise.
And then we had Joe, the drummer that we had come in for that session.
Nailed it.
That was great, Joe, but now it's time. You got to do the crazy take.
Yeah.
And of course, that's what you use.
Yeah, that's all drummers want to hear. And I don't like restricting drummers.
Yeah, and
like
so
you listen to.
I love listening to those drums.
Good live records, and the drummer's like, I finally get to.
Yeah.
Take it out for a walk.
These are for chicken meat.
Yeah, we decided to not have like a really strong backing track for the solo, which lets it breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And
just the acoustics and drums.
Yeah, very acoustic. We weren't trying to do anything crazy. No one went, there should be a synth or a glockenspiel.
They're in the middle part. That's where that is. The slow down. There's like bells shimmer, and things like going on, organ stuff.
But wrong song.
All the things that
we're on Friend.
All the things that I like. No. I'm talking about Friend now.
Thank God. I was like,
slow
fuck,
middle
I brought the conversation to a different place.
No.
Thank you for.
I have been talking about Friend.
Because it's the same chord progression, so there has to be a lot going on.
Yeah. And I remember doing the vocals and just like line by line trying to get them just right, and I think that one. And like when both of our voices come in at the same time for the chorus part at the end of that, I think it really works.
It does.
I really do.
Way
I think Friend is one of the. I think that's peak Trick Flower, especially on that.
People go, it never got as good as it got when they were just trading verse, chorus, solos.
It's a good one.
It's an odd one, like, because I'm less obsessed with it now that I'm a better chorder.
I don't know. What I like about that chord progression is it's sort of like on the guitar when you're playing it. When I call it a tight progression.
Yeah, it loops on itself.
It loops around itself, but you also don't move very much. It's a lot of like changes in the same kind of area. Yeah, kind of like it's sort of like the depth of one area. You're exploring the depth of one area of the neck.
That's good because that's something I've gotten better at. That's what I'm saying. Is like I write something like Big Boy, and that's like an inheritor of those concepts.
Yeah. And Big Boy is that's a great one too.
Thank you.
Again, 30 episodes of the World Cup.
But yeah, I think because the chorus is in weird places. Like back then, I would sit around more and obsess over. Because if it was a simple progression, back when I wrote kind of simpler progressions, I would try to be interesting by the chorus will be in this weird place. The groove and the lift will come in an interesting place, which I still kind of do. But now I'm like, now that I can write,
you've gotten really into the chordature.
Well, because I'm obsessed with Rodgers and Hammerstein and stuff, and I was never really able to kind of punch at that level, but I can a little more now. But I don't know. I think we can film like 3 of these back to back. If you want to move on to the next one, or if you have anything else to. Yeah. Sam nailed it again in the lush. If you're into lush, slow samba, which is a genre. Yeah. Indie samba, which is coming around. Indie bachata.
You gotta stay over here, little Miss Parker. Gotta stay over here.
Yeah, we'll play catch soon.
Yeah.
I'll just, as soon as the camera's off, we'll pretend we'll know the...
Alright. Let's stop this one.